Teen accused of killing teacher in prank gone wrong speaks out after charges were dropped. One of the 5 teenagers embroiled in the death of a maths teacher has spoken out about the devastating accident in the wake of the charges against them being dropped. If you're familiar with the story, I imagine it's probably in some cases a controversial decision for having the charges being dropped, or the decision on wanting the charges to be dropped, because it was actually the family members of the victim, Jason Hughes, who wanted the charges to be dropped. So I can imagine some people probably split on the decision. Like, yes, some people feel like it was an accident, it was a meaningless prank that just unfortunately went wrong, and unfortunately Jason ended up dying. Other people might feel different about that. It's like, no, they should have known better, they should have called off the prank, they should have done it another day when it was not raining out or whatever, and so on and so forth. But anyway, continuing on with the story. Jason Hughes, 40, passed away on the 6th of March after a prank conducted by his students went horribly wrong. 5 of his pupils doused his home in Gainesville, Georgia in toilet paper for a joke before he was mowed down as the teens attempted to make their getaway. Hughes, a father of 2 young boys, slipped on the wet road and was subsequently hit as the teenagers rushed to drive away. He later died in hospital. Jaden Wallace faced a felony charge of first-degree vehicular homicide and reckless driving, while Elijah Tate Owens, Aiden Hux, Anna Catherine, how do you pronounce the last name, and Ariana Cruz were all charged with misdemeanor counts of criminal trespassing and littering. But Hughes' loved ones urged the authorities to drop the charges against the youngsters, saying the teacher was in on the joke that took a tragic turn. In a statement, his family said, "There was no confrontation. Jason knew the students were coming and he was excited and wanted to catch them in the act." Fair play to the guy, it sounded like he had a great relationship with his students, and he seemed like a really cool guy from what I'm hearing, or what I'm reading right now rather. It had been raining and he accidentally slipped and fell into the road in front of the vehicle as they were driving away and was hit. The students immediately tried to provide aid until paramedics arrived. Jason loved these students and they loved him too. Our family fully supports getting these charges dropped for all involved. It said, "Our family is determined to prevent a separate tragedy from occurring and ruining the lives of these students. This would be counter to Jason's lifelong dedication of investing in the lives of these children. Our family is determined to prevent a separate tragedy from occurring, ruining the lives of these students." Hughes' wife Laura is also a teacher at North Hall High School, which is where her late husband was employed, and is also the school which the 5 students attended. On Friday the 13th of March, Hall County District Attorney Lee Dara announced that the charges have been dropped. A lawyer who is representing the student who was behind the wheel of the pickup truck that hit Hughes has since shared a statement on his behalf. Criminal defense attorney Graham McKeon said that 18-year-old Jaden is still grieving deeply in the wake of the teacher's death. He also gave praise on Hughes' wife Laura, thanking her for remarkable compassion and spirit of forgiveness in the face of the tremendous loss of her husband. In a statement to the Daily Mail, McKinnon said, "Jaden is still grieving deeply, but is still determined to move forward eventually to live a life that would make Jason Hughes proud." Vehicular homicide charges were not warranted because Jaden never operated his truck in a dangerous, improper or safe manner. In the end, there was no crime, only an extremely sad and devastating accident. According to the publication, McKinnon added that the teenager never saw Hughes before hitting him, adding that he had only travelled a few feet when the accident occurred. The lawyer urged people to offer their support to the GoFundMe that was launched to support Hughes' wife and their 2 kids. So no doubt, again, people are going to have many opinions on this incident. Some people are going to be on the side of the kids and say, yeah, look, it was a harmless prank. Unfortunately it went wrong and unfortunately Jason died. It was never meant to go that way, because Jason was in on the prank. He knew what was involved. It was just something that went wrong, unfortunately. And there's going to be people out there who would disagree with that opinion. Like, no, these kids were stupid. They were reckless. They should never have been doing that sort of prank in the first place. Especially when it was raining outside. Somebody could have got hurt. And unfortunately, somebody did get hurt. And then unfortunately passed away. Without being Jason Hughes. Now, me personally, I see it as this. Yes, the teacher knew it was a joke. They were all in on it. It was one big joke to them. So my opinion is this. I personally would have probably have gone a different day while choosing to do this prank. Like, I understand from their point of view, they didn't think anything would come of it, anything serious that is. Because all they were doing is throwing tissue paper over this guy's house. Like, there's nothing really serious to come about that. You know, way, shape or form that somebody should get hurt from doing that sort of prank. You know, that's my opinion on it. Would it have made a difference? Maybe. Maybe not. You know, we don't know. Now you might argue, what difference would it have made if they chose a different prank or they chosen a different day? Maybe not. Maybe it wouldn't have made a difference at all for that matter. I'm just saying from the top of my head, you know, given this story, that's how I feel. Obviously there was no ill will intended here. There was no serious harm intended. It was just a freak accident that unfortunately took the life of this great man. And yeah, the rest is history, I suppose. To anybody. Not that it makes it better, but I'm just saying it could have happened to anybody at any given time. And unfortunately, be a harmless prank would now forever be a memory of a really serious incident that changed many people's lives forever. Like you said, please let me know your feelings down below on how you feel about this subject. Do you think the kids were in the wrong? Do you agree with the decision of the charges being dropped from the teenagers involved in this incident? Or do you disagree with the decision of having the charges dropped from the students involved in the incident as well? Curious to know your opinions. As always, let me know down below. Until next time, take care, stay safe. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye for now.